All right. So the first SLO is basically, and this, first chapter contains very few, you can say, SLO. So the first one is that you need to apply laws of indices, and the same laws you need to apply on the radicals also. So before we start solving the questions, or I'm, you know, trying to explain different laws which we need to learn, so I want to share with you the two terms which are there in the SLO. One term is radical. So you should know, because we will be using these terms a lot in this, you can say, chapter. And the other term is exponent. There is a radical form and there is exponent form. So these are the two terminologies we should know about it. All right. So radicals and exponent. Exponents are also called indices sometimes, or in general language, or you can say layman term, we can call them powers as well. Right. So indices, powers, or another name is exponent form. So what that is, let me explain this first. So exponent form is, like, for example, if I write down 2 raised to power 3. So this is exponent form. So there are two things, one is the number itself and one is the power that number contains. So this number is called base. Base of what? Base of the exponent. And this is called power. All right. So you need to remember this because we will be using these terminologies again and again. So the exponent form is having two types, two things. One is base and one is power. All right. And what are the different things which can go in the exponent form? So there are three things. One is the number. So in short, अगर मैं कहूँ किस किस चीज को एक्सपोनेंट फॉर्म में लिखा जा सकता है. So one is the number, another is the variable. You may have seen this x square. So this is also exponent form. And the third is that exponents are with units also. आपने देखा होगा हम अक्सर लिखते हैं सेंटीमीटर स्क्वायर, और हम लिखते हैं लीटर, क्यूबिक लीटर, लीटर क्यूब. So basically this is also in form of exponent. So this is not a small thing, कि किसी चीज की पावर लिख देना. Power can be for numbers or signs also. Power can be with a variable and power can be with units as well. All right. So now what does that mean to cube? What does this mean? Why we are changing, uh, this into the form of power? So basically the purpose is that 2 raised to power 3 is basically when 2 is multiplied with itself 3 times. This is 2 raised to power 3. 2 is multiplied with itself how many times? The number which is written in the power, that many times. So this is what it means. So basically the concept of exponents or radicals or logarithm, which we are going to do in the next chapter, is to represent very big numbers or very small numbers. So we will learn about them also. All right. So I hope this is clear. What is base of exponent? The number which is written in the base. What is power? The number which is written in the smaller form and in the power form. All right. So now comes the radicals, because we are going to use these terminologies a lot. So in radicals, this is the symbol of a radical. We call them roots also. All right. So there are three parts, or you can say three terms which we are using with the radicals. First is the radical. So let's say I'm writing, uh, let's say 8 and 3 here. So now, just like exponents are having base and power, radicals are having two parts. One is the number inside and one is this power. So the number inside is called radicand. It's called radicand. And this number is called index, right? And this all together is called radical form, right? So this is called exponent form. This is called radical form. So radical form is written with this sign, which you know as a root, जिसे हम usually कहते हैं. This is a radical form, and the radical form is having two parts again. One is called radicand, the number inside it, and the other one is the index. So index is in the base of the radical. So now the interesting thing is that radicals and exponents are interchangeable. If I know a radical form, I can change that into an exponent form. And if I know an exponent form, I can change it into a radical form. So it means that this radical can also be written in form of power. So you need to remember this, that radicals are fractional powers. So you need to remember this. Okay, radicals are fractional powers. What does that mean now? Whatever is the index of a radical, that will go in the fraction of that number. So if I want to write it in the index form or exponent form, so I will write down 8 to the power. Now this 3 will go in the fractional power, so it will become 1 by 3. They are both equivalent forms. If I say cube root of 8, or if I say 8 to the power 1 by 3, mathematically the answer is same. Cube root of 8 is 2, and 8 raised to power 1 by 3 is also, or 1/3 of 8 is also 2. So they are both equivalent form. So I hope the two things are clear up till this point, that what are radicals and what are exponents. So is there anything you cannot understand? Please tell me now. जी बेटे. Is there anything you cannot understand, or you want me to repeat it again? So you can tell me now. So please unmute your mic and tell me if you cannot understand anything. Okay. जी बेटे, आप गिने? Is this clear till this point? The two
Yes,
things.
ma'am.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So bete, one second. Let me open that here. So which number? Yes, 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 yes. This number is always 1. So Harim is asking that, is this always 1 by 3? Yes, it will always be 1 by 3. So because I told you, na, radicals are fractional power. So fractional power means that it would be 1 by that number. You need to know another thing also, that usually, mostly, but I should say, mostly there is a number in the index. But what if there is no number in the index? Like what if it is written like this? Radical, let's say, 4. And there is nothing written here. So what does that mean? What would be here?
Or
I
1 by
cannot
2.
see anything. That's right. So this you need to remember. There is only, this is called invisible math. कुछ चीजें हैं जो math में हमें, it's understandable, or it's, basics. So there is a 2 here. When the index is not written, there is a 2 here. So it means that the smallest index of a radical is 2. It cannot be 1. ठीक है? So just like अगर x की एक पावर होती है, x raised to power 1 है, तो usually we don't write it. सही है ना? We write x. So but where is the power? So power is invisible. Power is there, right? So same is the case here. When it's a square root, sometimes there is 2 written, sometimes 2 is not written, but you need to understand that 2 is there. Okay, if base is not there or the index is not there, so there is a 2 here. So then you will say it is 4 to the power 1 by 2, and we will solve it. All right. So now let's, before going into the questions, or before going into the properties of radicals and exponents, let's quickly, go through these tricks, so that I know that you are clear with these things. So I will keep asking you few questions. You need to tell me, okay? You need to unmute your mics and tell me the answers. So I will be using a book for that. So just a quick, you can say, for me to check. All right. So first of all, uh, there is a question that you need to tell me, okay, is this correct or not? So let me share the mic again. But is the screen not shared now?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So let me share the screen again. All right. So there is one question you need to tell me that if this is a correct statement or not. All right. So beta, keep your mic muted. Please unmute them when you need to answer. So there is one thing. So you need to tell me, is this statement correct or not? All right. So first is, so 5 to the power 1 by 5 is equal to this. All right. So who can answer? Is this a true statement or is this wrong?
And this is wrong.
All right. Why, Hari? Why do you think it's wrong?
Because I denominator is disappeared.
So when it is not here, so what should be there? So how can you correct it if I ask this question? This is a wrong statement, but what can you do to correct it?
Adding an index
So what should I write here?
5.
All right. One way of, making it correct is that if I write 5 here, is there any other way to correct this statement? This statement, false statement. Is there any other way to correct it?
Remove the 1.
Sorry,
Remove the 1.
remove the one, like this one.
Yes.
See, like this is the wrong statement now. One way to correct is yes, if we add 5 in the index, so the statement will be correct. Is there any other way to correct it? This
5 1
statement.
by 2.
That's right. If I change this into 1 by 2, oh, excellent. So this is equal also. So there are two ways to change this. Either change the index or change the power. So that will be right then. All right. So I'm writing one more statement. So this time, you need to tell me, let's say, it's a bit tricky or not. Let's see. All right. So what do you think? Is it a correct statement? 2 raised to power 2 by 3 is cube root of 4.
It is a correct statement.
All right. So what do you think, Maheen? Is it correct?
Uh, yes, ma'am.
So why do you think, Abia, it's a correct statement? So how can you justify? So it's a correct statement, yes, but let's, justify it later on through properties. Basically, if you write this 4 as 2 square in a cube root, so and now you remove the radical, that will be 2 raised to power 2 by 3. So they are both same. Or if I use the laws of indices and I solve this part, so I can say this is 2 square whole power 1 by 3. I'm separating this 2 by 3 as 2 multiplied by 1 by 3 power of power, and this 2 square is 4. So 4 power 1 by 3, or this is a fractional power, so I can change it into radical. So this form can also be converted into this one. So you can change the exponent form, this is exponent form, into the radical form, or the radical form into the exponent form. That's why I was telling you that you can change them into each other. Just like we can convert decimals and we can convert them into fractions. All right. So I hope this is clear. So now let's discuss the laws. So let's discuss laws of radicals first, right? Because radicals are having very less laws, and they are, making sense also. So let's quickly discuss the laws. So laws or properties, you can say, properties of radicals. So it's just like when you deal with decimals, they are having their own laws. How can you add two decimals? How can you subtract them? How can you divide or multiply them? So same is the case with fractions. Fractions have their own laws or properties. If you are adding two fractions, what to do? If you are multiplying two fractions, what to do? Or same is the case with multiplication and division. So the properties of radicals are different, and the properties of indices are different. So let's quickly discuss properties of radicals first. So the first property is product law. First property or rule or law is product law. So product law says that if two radicals are multiplied and their base is same or index is same, like for example a and the index is n, and it is multiplied with radical b with the same index, So because the index of both radicals are same, so we can, bring them under the same umbrella. So we can write down like this. So instead of keeping them separate, we can just join them in the same root or in the same radical. So here you can see A, B, and N. They can be any number. So they are variables. All right. So if I give or if I take an example, for example, square root of 3 multiply by square root of 2. So what is the base or what is the index of this radical? It's not written. How could I know? So can anyone tell me what is the radical base?
Two.
Yes, it is 2. So they are both having 2 in the base. So it means that it's the same base. So we can apply product law. So what will be the answer? What will be the answer according to this law?
In the index there would be 2 and inside the umbrella it would be 6.
That's right. So it will be square root of 6 or a radical of 6 with 2 base. So in short, we call it. So you are having calculator. So you can check also if you are multiplying square root of 3 and square root of 2, the answer is same as the square root of 6. All right. So this is making sense. So while simplifying the questions, we will apply these laws or properties of radicals. What is the first property? First is the product law. If the index is same, so we can bring the both radicants into the same radical. All right. So second is a similar one. So if we can do this with the multiplication, we can do it with the division also. So like if nth root of A is divided by nth root of B, n can be any number. So if we are dividing them after taking the root, so why not just divide the numbers and then take the root, then take the radical. So that is the same thing, same case, right? So A and B are combined. There is a multiplication sign between them. And here A and B are combined through division sign. So it's just like कि हमने उन दोनों को एक ही रूट में कर लिया because the base is same. ठीक है? So this is the second law. So now comes the third law. Third law is power of power. So let me just, like for example, so bete, I hope things are clear till now.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am.
Are all right, very good. So now comes the third law, that is very obvious law, power of radical. This makes sense also. I have used it earlier also, you may have noticed it. So this law says if a raised to power m is having a radical with the base n, so we can, take this m outside also. So we can say it is a radical to the base n whole power m. So what we are doing, we are taking this power outside. All right. So if this is not clear, if this is not making sense, so I can give you one example. For example, if we say, let's say 2 cube and the base is, let's say 3 is equal to 2 this to the base 3. So now, like how it makes sense. So if you notice, if I solve this part, so I will do this 2 raised to power 3 whole power 1 by 3. And these 3 will be gone, answer would be 2. So same is the case here. If I remove this radical, so this time it is 2 raised to power 1 by 3 and the upper power is 3. So it does not matter in multiplication if I write 3 first or 1 by 3 first. So can anyone tell me which law is this? Which law is this that in multiplication order does not matter? AB is same as BA. So can anyone tell me which property is this? Okay, in multiplication order does not matter. So this is a law in maths, no? There is a property, it's having a particular name. So this is called commutative law, right? So you need to remember in addition and multiplication, commutative law is for both addition and multiplication. So in commutative law, we know that it does not matter if we write 3 first and multiply it with 1 by 3 or 1 by 3 first and then multiply it with 3. The answer from both sides is coming 2. So this is the third property, that it does not matter you are taking the power first and the radical later on, because they are multiplied anyhow, and in multiplication order does not matter. So I hope these three are clear. जी बेटे, any question in the three properties?
Ma'am, can you explain the third property?
जी बेटे, I can explain the third property again. So let me, just write it again. This property is that powers can be taken out. Let's say it's related to power or indices, So like for example, if I'm taking, let's say 49 to the base, just 1 second, not 49. Let's say 2 cube, and the base is, let's say 5. So this law says that it does not matter that if you take the radical first or the power first. So if you can rewrite this as, like, now you can see the power is inside, but you can take it outside. You can write down fifth root of 2 and the whole power is 3. What you have done, you have taken this power as a whole power. So basically it does not matter, because the radicals are also powers and the indices are also powers. Just the difference between the two power is that the radical is a fractional power. This 5 will go as 1 by 5 in the power. So अगर आप इसको सॉल्व करें लेफ्ट साइड को, तो यहाँ से भी आपके पास आंसर क्या आता है, 2 की पावर 3 बाय 5. और अगर आप इस साइड को देखें तो यहाँ से भी आपका आंसर तो वही आ रहा है ना, 2 की पावर 1 by 5 whole power 3 है. So power of power is multiplied. So this is also 3 by 5. So it does not matter if you are taking the indices first or the base first. रेडिकल पहले सॉल्व करें या इंडेक्स पहले सॉल्व करें, पावर्स ने तो मल्टीप्लाई होना है, और मल्टीप्लीकेशन में हमें पता है order does not matter. So we can, interchange it. Sometimes while simplifying questions, we might need to use it. All right. So when we will apply the property, then I will, refer it back to you. I will tell you कि हम ये वही वाली property use कर रहे हैं, तो आप इसको देखें, ठीक है? So is it clear now, आप गिने?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, बेटा. So बेटे, now, let's quickly discuss, because most of you know You have learned it in grade 8 also, that what are the laws of indices. So before, because you have just seen के laws of indices हो या radicals हो, they are basically working together. ठीक है? So we cannot solve questions while keeping them apart from each other. हमें ये दोनों laws पता होंगे तो हम solve करेंगे. So we will quickly discuss laws of indices. So laws of indices, exponents, or laws of powers. So there are, several laws. First law is that if the two variables are it's called the product law again. So the product law says if the two powers, if the base is same, now I'm using the terminologies. If the base is same and there is a multiplication sign, so what we do? We add the powers. Okay? What is the first law? First law is that if the base is same and there is a multiplication sign, so just two conditions. You can say for the first law of indices, there are two conditions. If these two conditions are fulfilled, so then you can apply the law. What are the conditions? If the base is same, so हमने पहले पढ़ा है कि एक्सपोनेंट में एक चीज बेस होती है और एक क्या होता है उसका पावर होती है. If the base is same and there is a multiplication sign, so we need to add the powers. For example, if there is 2 raised to power 3 and there is 2 raised to power 2, what would be the answer? What would be the answer?
2 raised to power 5.
2 raised to power 5. So ये it's the biggest misconception. अक्सर हमारा, क्योंकि हम मल्टीप्लिकेशन का साइन देखते हैं और हम क्या करते हैं, हम जस्ट इसको मल्टीप्लाई कर देते हैं. हम कहते हैं 2 रेज टू पावर 3 मल्टीप्लाई बाय 2 रेज टू पावर 2 इज 2 रेज टू पावर 6. लेकिन अगर आप गौर करें तो 2 रेज टू पावर 3 का क्या मतलब है कि 2 इज मल्टीप्लाइड विद इटसेल्फ हाउ मेनी टाइम्स? 3 टाइम्स. और 2 रेज टू पावर 2 का मतलब है कि 2 इज मल्टीप्लाइड विद इटसेल्फ 2 टाइम्स. तो ये अब 6 टाइम्स तो मल्टीप्लाई नहीं हो रहा ना, देयर आर 5 टाइम्स. ये मल्टीप्लिकेशन का साइन अगर दरमियान में आप लगा लें तो इट्स a valid answer. Answer cannot be 2 raised to power 6. Answer is 2 raised to power 5. So you need to remember, if the base is same and there is a multiplication sign, we add the powers. All right. So second is, if the base is same, it's called quotient law or division law, and there is a division sign. So again, there are two conditions. Base is same and there is a division sign. So we subtract the powers. All right. We subtract the powers. So जैसे कि हम करते हैं कि 2 raised to power, let's say 7 divided by 2 raised to power 2, the answer would be Maheen, what would be the answer? 2 raised to power 7
2 raised to
divided by
power 5.
5. Very good. And that makes sense also कि वो जो 2 raised to power 8 2 यहाँ से cancel out हो गई है उसके साथ. तो बेसिकली हम ये सब कुछ पहले से करते आ रहे हैं. हमें पता है कि x x मल्टीप्लाई होता है तो आंसर x स्क्वायर आ जाता है. लेकिन कैसे आ जाता है? क्योंकि ये x की पावर 1 है और ये भी x की पावर 1 है. So the same base and there is a multiplication sign. So powers are added. 1 plus 1 makes it 2. So ये चीजें हमें पहले भी पता है, हम यूज करते हैं. सिर्फ आज हम उसको सीख रहे हैं, हम अक्सर ये करते हैं एक्स क्यूब डिवाइडेड बाय एक्स, तो हम कहते हैं आंसर इज एक्स स्क्वेयर, क्योंकि एक एक्स तो इसके साथ कैंसिल हो गया। तो एक्चुअली वो जो कैंसिल हो गया वो क्या हुआ है, इसकी पावर 1 है, सो दैट इज 3 माइनस 1 इक्वल्स टू 2, so that's why, right? So now the third law is law of power. So power of power means, like for example, a raised to power m and whole power n is there, so it's power of power. So now there is no two numbers with the same base. So first and two laws में common चीज क्या है, the base is same, right? So the base is same, but this time there is only one, you can say, exponent. दूसरा exponent ही नहीं है, तो हम उसको compare नहीं कर सकते. So power of power is there, so powers are multiplied. So answer would be a raised to power mn. So powers are multiplied. जैसे हम अक्सर करते हैं, what is x square whole square? तो हम कहते हैं ये x की पावर क्या हो जाएगी, x स्क्वायर का स्क्वायर क्या होता है,
4.
जी बिल्कुल, x की पावर 4, बिकॉज वी आर मल्टीप्लाइंग m and n. ठीक है, सो ठीक है, सो नाउ कम्स द फोर्थ law. I hope things are clear till this point. So fourth law is, you know, a version of the first two laws. In the first two laws, we kept the base same and we changed the powers. So in the fourth and fifth law, we will keep the power same and we will change the base. All right. So fourth law is, let if a raised to power m is multiplied with b raised to power m. अब हम क्या करें, दोनों की पावर सेम है, तो हम इसको लिख सकते हैं ए बी होल पावर m. अब अगर आप गौर करें तो ये मिलता जुलता लॉ है, ये उस रेडिकल वाला लॉ मिलता जुलता है कि अगर एक रेडिकल दूसरे रेडिकल से मल्टीप्लाई हो तो हम उसको एक ही अम्ब्रेला में ले जाते हैं. तो यहाँ पर भी अगर आप देखें तो यही हो रहा है कि ए की पावर m है, बी की पावर m है, तो ये पावर जो m है वो दोनों की कलेक्टिव पावर ले ली आपने. ठीक है जी बेटे. सो now comes the fifth law. Fifth law is similar to fourth, just multiplication की जगह हमारे पास क्या आ जाएगा, division. So fifth law would be a raised to power m divided by b raised to power m. अगर आप नोट करें तो ये फोर्थ और फिफ्थ लॉ इज जस्ट लाइक द लॉ ऑफ रेडिकल्स. इसको हम क्या करेंगे, a रेज टू पावर b m ही है और b रेज टू पावर b m ही है, सो व्हाट शुड वी डू,
A, B to the power M.
a बाय b होल पावर m. सो हमने क्या किया, उस m को हमने बाहर निकाल लिया और अंदर वही. ये दोनों बिल्कुल इसी तरह है जिस तरह रेडिकल के दो लॉ हैं, उसी से मिलते जुलते हैं. राइट, सो दीज आर द 5 basic laws of indices. So now comes the additional laws, right? Additional laws में sixth law में हमारे पास होता है zero power. What if the power is zero? तो वो क्या करेंगे, let's say x की पावर 0, क्या करें, what is x की पावर 0?
0,
0,
1,
1. So what should it be, x की पावर 0? x की पावर 0 is, हादिया और आप गिने, can you recall what is x की पावर 0? What is 2 की पावर 0?
1
0,
It would be
0. 1.
it would be 1. ये आपने याद रखना है. It cannot be 0. अच्छा, आपके पास मजे की बात ये है कि आपके पास कैलकुलेटर है. अगर आपको कहीं पे भी कोई चीज कंफ्यूज करती है ना, फॉर एग्जांपल आपको याद नहीं रहता कि अब x की 2 की पावर जी, हमने सिंप्लीफाई किया क्वेश्चन को और उसमें जी x y z वेरिएबल थे, अब x की पावर 0 हो गई है. सो व्हाट शुड आई डू? अगर मैं 0 करूंगी तो मेरा तो पूरा क्वेश्चन का आंसर ही 0 हो गया. सो द गुड थिंग इज दैट यू आर हैविंग अ कैलकुलेटर. यू शुड चेक इट. ठीक है, कैलकुलेटर से वेरीफाई करना सीखें कि क्या आंसर आता है. आप किसी 2 की पावर 0 लेके देखें, आप कैलकुलेटर आपको क्या कहता है, साइंटिफिक कैलकुलेटर. तो द कैलकुलेटर विल आंसर यू कि इट्स नॉट अ 0, इट्स अ 1. ठीक है. सो नाउ द सेवंथ लॉ, sixth law is zero power law. So if there is a zero power left, that will change into 1. Next is a negative power. So zero power हमने discuss कर ली. So now we are going to discuss what if the power is negative. Like for example, what if the power is x raised to power -3? So what should I do with this? ये क्या आंसर x की पावर -3? So when the power is negative, so you need to take the reciprocal. Reciprocal of what? ये अब important है. So to get rid of this negative power, to change it into a positive power, you need to take the reciprocal. Reciprocal of what? Reciprocal of the base, not the power. ठीक है? You need to remember this statement. कि to get rid of negative power, so take the reciprocal of the base. ठीक है? So if I will take the reciprocal of the base, it will be 1 by x cube. ठीक है? So if you take reciprocal of a negative power, the power is positive, but now the base is reciprocal. All right? So last is the radical law, जो हमने पहले ही डिस्कस कर लिए हैं कि रेडिकल्स को कैसे कन्वर्ट करते हैं. ठीक है? So any questions till now? जी बेटे, any questions? Vijay, Naya, you joined late. So Vijay, I will share a video with you, all right? So you can, listen to that video and you can tell me if there is anything you cannot understand, so we can discuss it, all right? Acha, now we are going to solve a few questions of exercise 1.2. 1.1 exercise is not important. So I have shared the SLOs of this chapter with you in the group. So those who joined late, I will send you again.
Ma'am, I was not
So
able to hear.
SLO. All right. So you were unable to hear the last two, I think so. Sixth and seventh, Maheen, है ना? Sixth law is zero power. ठीक है बेटे? If the power is 0, so then the answer is 1. All right. So we will apply these laws again. So I will share with you this video also, so that you can, revise these laws, because ये आपको दोनों laws आते होंगे, radicals के भी और exponents के भी, तो आप फिर ही question solve कर सकते हैं. Seventh is the negative power law. अगर negative power हो तो हम क्या करते हैं, reciprocal लेते हैं. Reciprocal of what? Reciprocal of the base. Power का reciprocal नहीं लेते. यहाँ पर ये एक misconception है. So if there is a negative sign in the power, so we take the reciprocal of the base and the power becomes positive. ये हमने दो चीजें पढ़ी हैं माही. ठीक है? So now we are going to do, I was saying कि in class 9th syllabus, not everything is coming in the paper. ठीक है? So exercise 1.1 में ऐसा कुछ नहीं है जो पेपर में आए, क्योंकि उन्होंने उसको फॉर्मेटिव असेसमेंट के तौर पे रखा हुआ है, यानी कि इट्स फॉर लर्निंग ओनली, it's for knowledge only. The questions will not come in the paper. It's clearly written in the curriculum. So हम क्या start करेंगे? We will start from exercise 1.2 so of NBF book. ठीक है? So I'm solving few questions here. First question is that using the radical law, write the expressions in the simple single radical. So question हमारे पास है कि I'm writing question in a short form. They are asking us to do two things. One is write in single radical. Okay. So write in single radical. This is one, you can say, a thing we need to do. That we need to write them in the single radical. And the second thing is we need to simplify also. एक तो हमने अगर if there are two or more radicals हमने उसको एक ही radical form में लिखना है, ठीक है, और फिर हमने उसको सिंप्लीफाई भी करना है यूजिंग व्हाट, यूजिंग द प्रॉपर्टीज ऑफ रेडिकल्स. ये दो काम हमें करने हैं. एंड दे टोल्ड अस यूज लॉज ऑफ और रूल ऑफ, इन्होंने लिखा है रूल ऑफ रेडिकल्स. हमने क्या यूज करने हैं? रेडिकल्स के रूल यूज करने हैं. कौन से रूल यूज करने हैं? द प्रोडक्ट एंड द कोशेंट रूल. ऑलराइट, सो नाउ just look at this. First question is cube root of 3 multiply by cube root of 6. So which law we can use? Product or quotient?
Product.
Which law? Product law. So product law क्या कहते हैं कि if the index is, अच्छा don't get confused कि 6 भी same है. It does not matter. हमारे पास criteria क्या है कि the base or the index of the root is same and there is a multiplication sign. So we can just simply write like this, 3 and the 6 is multiplied. And so अब देखें why they have written two things, single radical and simplify. अब देखिए फर्स्ट स्टेप में हमने इसको क्या कर दिया, सिंगल रेडिकल में लिख दिया. और ये हमने किस लॉ के थ्रू किया? बिकॉज उन्होंने कहा यूज रूल ऑफ रेडिकल, सो ये हमने प्रोडक्ट रूल किया यूज. ठीक है. अगर पेपर में ये क्वेश्चन 4 मार्क्स का आता है, you know that paper pattern is having 4 marks question, so you need to mention it. It's a product rule or law. ठीक है. So now what? अब देखिए हमने सिंगल रेडिकल में तो उसको कर दिया है, बट कैन वी सिंप्लीफाई इट फर्दर? क्या हम उसको फर्दर सॉल्व कर सकते हैं? सो हाउ इट विल बी सॉल्व्ड? So we can, how can we write it? Can we simplify it any further? So we can write down 6 into 6. So we can write down 6 square and 3. So can I write, is it a correct way of writing it? 2 by 3. Is this okay? Can you comprehend how this is changed into this form? Can you? जी बेटे. Because this 3 will go in the denominator. It's a fractional power, so it will become 2 by 3. Any questions? Is this clear? This question. जी बेटे, is this question clear? हमने क्या किया? सबसे पहले हमने प्रोडक्ट रूल यूज किया और हमने इसको एक ही रेडिकल के अंदर कर लिया बिकॉज द बेस वॉज सेम, राइट। और फिर हमने क्या किया, हमने उसको, इस 6 × 6 था तो हमने उसको 6 स्क्वायर लिख लिया, ठीक है। बिकॉज ये इंडेक्स फॉर्म है ना, नंबर इज मल्टीप्लाइड विद इट सेल्फ, सो हम उसको 6 स्क्वायर लिख सकते हैं एंड देन वी कैन सिंपली राइट इट डाउन इन द इंडेक्स और एक्सपोनेंट फॉर्म. So I hope this first part is clear. So now the second part. So second part is, so just quickly tell me how to solve it. 4 with the base 5 multiplied with 8 with the base 5. So how can we solve it? Which law?
Product law.
It's the product law. So Abgine, Hadia, Inaya, Bitte, are you able to understand? It's a product law. What are the two conditions of product law? The index should be same and there should be a multiplication. So multiplication sign is also there, index is also same. तो हम क्या कर सकते हैं? We can bring them into the same radical. So we can write down 4 multiplied by 8 or 5 is in the base. So now what to do? 8 4s are 32. 32 raised to power to the radical base 5. So can we simplify it any further? Any ideas? कैसे simplify करें? जैसे यहाँ पर हमने इसको लिख लिया था 6 स्क्वायर. अब यहाँ पर क्या करूं? 32 किसी का स्क्वायर है या किसी की पावर है 32? 32 इसको देख के स्पेशली जो कंप्यूटर के स्टूडेंट्स होते हैं, हादिया, आपको तो फौरन क्लिक होना चाहिए. 32 किसकी पावर है? किस चीज की पावर है? वाई आई एम सेइंग कंप्यूटर के लोगों को ज्यादा पता होना चाहिए बिकॉज 32 बिट्स 64 बिट्स ये हम कंप्यूटर में यूज करते हैं मेमोरी के लिए, तो उसकी कोई रीजन है. उसकी रीजन ये है कि ये सारे 2 की पावर्स हैं. सो अगर हम इसको, अगर आप फिर भी अगर आपको नहीं समझ आ रहा 32 किसकी पावर है, तो आप इसकी प्राइम फैक्टराइजेशन कर सकते हैं, ठीक है. सो गो टू द बेसिक्स, यू नो. सो लाइक अगर आपको नहीं समझ आ रहा 32 किसकी पावर है, तो आप इसकी प्राइम फैक्टराइजेशन करके देखें. सो इट विल बी 16, फिर 2 से डिवाइड करें 8, फिर 2 से डिवाइड करेंगे इट वुड बी 4, फिर 2 से डिवाइड करेंगे 2 एंड अगेन इट विल बी. सो ये अगर आपको याद नहीं है तो फिर आपने इसको डिवाइड करके चेक करना है कि ये किसकी पावर है. तो बेसिकली ये 32 जो है ये 2 की 5 बार मल्टीप्लाई करें इट सेल्फ. 2 is multiplied with itself how many times? 5 times. So the answer is 32. ये आपने याद रखना है, ठीक है. इट्स वेरी कॉमन नंबर. तो अगर अब आप इसको इंडेक्स फॉर्म में लिखें तो इट विल बी 2 raised to power 5 और दिस 5 will come here, it will be multiplied with 1 by 5. This 5 is cancelled and your answer is 2. अब देखिए, अगर आप देखें क्वेश्चन के फर्स्ट पार्ट में यहाँ तक फर्स्ट 3 स्टेप्स में हमने उसको सिंगल रेडिकल फॉर्म में चेंज किया है, ठीक है. और उसके बाद जो अगले ये 3 स्टेप हैं इसमें हमने क्या किया है? सिंप्लीफिकेशन की. ऑलराइट, इज इट क्लियर? सो द फर्स्ट स्टेप, यहाँ पर हमने कौन सा लॉ यूज किया है? प्रोडक्ट रूल, ठीक है. एंड दैट इज द क्वेश्चन के यूज द रूल्स, ठीक है. सो हमने लिख दिया कि यहाँ पर हमने प्रोडक्ट रूल यूज किया, फिर हमने उसको सिंप्लीफाई करने की कोशिश की और हमने उसका आंसर निकाला. इफ यू विल लीव दिस क्वेश्चन हेयर फॉर एग्जांपल, और अगर आपको नहीं ये बात कंप्रीहेंड हुई कि इसको सिंप्लीफाई किया जा सकता है, तो योर आंसर विल गो, like your answer will be considered incomplete answer. बिकॉज आपने क्वेश्चन का वन पार्ट सॉल्व किया है, आपने उसको सिंगल रेडिकल फॉर्म में लिख दिया है, लेकिन आपने उसको सिंप्लीफाई नहीं किया. सो यू कैन ऑलवेज यूज कैलकुलेटर. अगर आपको मतलब नहीं समझ आ रही, फॉर एग्जाम्पल कि जैसे इस क्वेश्चन में सिंप्लीफिकेशन वाज नॉट पॉसिबल और इस क्वेश्चन में सिंप्लीफिकेशन पॉसिबल थी, सो आप क्या करें, आप बेशक अपने कैलकुलेटर से लिखें, कैलकुलेटर में आप ये रेडिकल साइन डालें और यहाँ पर 5 और 32 ऐड करें, एंड यू कैन फाइंड आउट योर आंसर वुड बी 2. और अगर आप इसको लिखते कैलकुलेटर में 36 विद रेडिकल ऑफ 3, सो इसका आंसर आपके पास डेसिमल में आएगा, विच इज टेलिंग यू कि ये सॉल्वेबल नहीं है, लेकिन इसका आंसर आपके पास एक होल नंबर आ रहा है, इसका मतलब है कि ये सॉल्वेबल है. ऑलराइट, सो बेटे, कैन वी सॉल्व टू मोर पार्ट्स? What you guys say? What do you say? Should we solve two more parts before, sorry?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Okay, sure. So let's solve two more parts because we started the class late. So the third part of the same exercise, same question. Third part is x with the index 4 multiplied with x cube with index 4. So what would be the first step? Which law we can use? Which law we can use? The base is same and the multiplication is there.
Product law.
Product law. Adya beta, you need to participate also. It's a product law. I hope you know what is a product law. The index of the radical is same and there is a multiplication sign. So we can apply product law. So we can write down, we can bring them under the same radical with the same base, and we can say x is multiplied with x cube. So this is the first, you have used product law. Product law of radicals. So now tell me, what should I do? X की power 1 multiplied with x cube. Which law or property is this? Can I combine them? X raised to power 1 multiplied with x raised to power 3. What should be the answer?
X की power
X की power 4.
4.
Excellent. Which law we have used here? We have used
Indices
product
first law.
law of, very good, indices first law. So we have added the power. When the base is same and there's a multiplication sign, powers will be added together. So now I can simplify further. X raised to power 4, and this base will go in the fraction if you remove this radical sign. So I told you in the start of the class that radicals are fractional powers. So the answer would be x. All right. ठीक है बेटे? So let's solve fourth part, and from fifth part onward we can continue tomorrow inshallah. So fourth part is bete, now this is very interesting. This multiplied with, so this, so what should I do? Which law I can apply? Please tell me, raise your hand and tell me, or just unmute and tell me, can you guess what would be the, which law we can apply? Or I should change the question, can we apply the product law?
No,
So why not?
because the base is different. Yes, the base is different, and the parts are also different.
Powers are also different. So the product law is having two conditions. एक तो ये multiplication sign, this is there, ये तो ठीक है. The problem is with the base of the radical या index of the radical. यहाँ पर index is 3. यहाँ पर index लिखा हुआ नहीं है. If index is not written, what is the index? If index is not written, index is 2. So यहाँ पर index 3 है, यहाँ पर index 2 है. तो ऑल दो मल्टीप्लीकेशन साइन तो है, प्रोडक्ट लॉ यूज हो सकता था, लेकिन बेस ही सेम नहीं है, तो हम नहीं कर सकते. तो हम लिखेंगे प्रोडक्ट लॉ कैन नॉट बी अप्लाइड. अप्लाई तो सिर्फ प्रोडक्ट लॉ ही हो सकता है ना, बिकॉज क्वेश्चन में तो डिवीजन होनी चाहिए. सो प्रोडक्ट लॉ कैन नॉट बी अप्लाइड बिकॉज, so just you will write down the reason. Cannot be applied. Product law cannot be applied why it cannot be applied? Because the index is not same. All right, so you will just write this as the answer. All right, so beta, that's all for today's class. So I hope that because we are learning the same topic again, so it was helpful. So was it, Hadia? Is it better than when you have learned it first time?